Hey everybody, it's Rob here. The Sorc on the PTR is hitting for 4.3Q and clearing Pit 200. This is a clip here of Mikuna. I'm going to link his channel and also these clips below. And yeah, you guys can see here how much crazy damage it does here on the boss with the new chain lightning technology. We also have the planner and we also have some good understanding now of how much life these pit bosses in Pit 200 have. Let's check it out. So they actually did it here with a bunch of time remaining, and you guys can see the damage here on Pit 200 with this chain lightning. It just keeps proccing, and it basically just stacks damage up until infinity with the new helm. And you guys can just see here how crazy it hits these bosses for multiple thousands of trillions, which is quadrillions. And this is just completely insane and just blasting this down. And that's how the Pit 200 has been basically done again. I think we had a lucky Luciano here with the Rogue, basically just one-shotting everything with the recent Rogue bug where you execute everything, and then the Sorc just, executes the boss here real quick. So it goes pretty insane, and yeah, the numbers are definitely kind of there here with 4.3Q. And they're basically using an interaction with the new pants. Actually, I'm going to show this to you in-game here. So it's this pants here, the Axial conduit. And this one basically has your... I'm going to remove chat here for a second. This one basically makes your chain lightning orbit you, seek enemies, then returns, drains mana for each active chain lightning. And it also explodes. But what happens is it like stores this damage that it's exploding with, and it's scaling it apparently every time it bounces with the Crown of Lucion, the new helm here, resulting in a crazy interaction and basically multi-dipping and infinitely scaling damage when you just see the chain lightning bounce. And then we're gonna look at the clip here one more time. And this helm has been overperforming for a lot of classes. I think it should basically be an uber unique. Like, this helm is so ridiculous. It's like a lot better than Shaco. I will demonstrate it here with my buffs, and I don't have a Sorc on the PTR yet, but this lightning sword is crazy. And you guys can see it here in the clear, and we'll talk about the planner, how the chain lightning is just bouncing between. You see here like the Sorc and the boss, like you just have to position it yourself in a way so it just bounces forever, and it never stops, and it just like instantly melts the boss basically. And yeah, the DPS is pretty wild, and it's pretty cool. You guys can also tell now, so you guys see here, this boss has about... Let me slow motion here. So this boss has about, I don't know, 40%, maybe like 42% HP left. And then you guys can see here, he takes 3Q damage. So he goes from like 40, like down to like 25 or something. So it's probably fair to assume that the boss has 15 quadrillion health here on this pit tier. And we kind of did some calculation like some time ago, and we only calculated the boss has half a Q. So you gotta understand that this is a 3-player game. So if you divide 15Q by 3, you roughly have 5Q. So it seems about 10 times more than what we anticipated. But there's also currently a bug with the health of the bosses on the PTR where they are way more tanky. But yeah, in order to bring down this Pit 200 bosses, you need to do quadrillions of damage. This is thousands of trillions, and it's millions of billions of damage, basically. Like, the number is so insane. I mean, you guys can see it here. This is basically the number that he's hitting for, and the boss has multiple times of this. So yeah, you can just see how the lightning bounces. And next to the Druid, we've seen the Druid also hit for 9Q with the bleed stuff. There's some absolutely wild things. I actually DM'd this to Darth Microtransactions, and the Druid is hitting for similar numbers. So we had a clip here from the M, and the Druid is hitting for 9Q as well. I'm not sure if it's also with the Crown, but you guys just can kind of see this is like a dot bleed with the Poison Creeper on the Druid. So there's a lot of things that are going all kinds of ways on the PTR at the moment. And some classes are completely busted and broken, and some others not so much, but mainly it's the offender is this helm, I think, especially combined with some effects on the Druid and on the Sorc and stuff. And so yeah, Lurkin has a planner here. I'm going to link that also in the description. And maybe Mekuna will make one soon as well, but it's basically the crown with the Axial conduit. If you want to try this on the PTR, I'm pretty sure this bug is going to get reported and is hopefully going to get fixed. And Sorc, I think in general, needs still quite some help to be viable. It seems like there's a lot of just like not working things on the Sorc at the moment. Like there's also some weird interaction with the verse passive, the new final passive. So this is like what he's rocking here, the crown, concentration, swell, conduit, the Esu boots, accelerating, conceded, recharging, tarashas, and shredded blades. Skill trees looking like this. Basically just have all the stuff in here. And I mean, it's mainly like a full DPS focus, and you also have some toughness here. And then the Ver Mastery also behaves in a very different way. And I'm not sure if the Paragon board here is loading, so this is how it looks like. I'm not sure if this is exactly what was played in the clip. Elementalist, Frigid Fate, Unleash. Then down here, Legendary node, Elemental Summoner, of course, Enchanter. Then we have Destruction. We have Static Surge, like just all the damage multipliers. Charge for the crack. And then also Exploit Glyph here, and then a bunch of damage reduction, just like usual. The Sorc has lost its immortality tag. But yeah, this is definitely completely insane to see. Like the Rogue basically just clears the run, and then the Sorc just clears the boss with Chain Lightning. And yeah, it just gets pretty crazy in terms of like the numbers that they produce. And yeah, seeing Pit 200 was completely not expected here. So the Rogue just executes the Elite. Druid is hitting for 9 trillion, Sorc 9 quadrillion, Sorc is hitting for 4.3 quadrillion. I have not seen it yet on the Necro, I have not figured it out on the Barb yet. So on Barb, the Helm just kind of works as expected. So we are having like a direct bash build, it's also pretty good. But I'll show this to you here with Shaco, like just normally, we're not playing this Helm. We are playing the new amulet here, wherever that also has a crazy scaling. I'm not sure if many of you have seen how crazy it is. It also seems to be X instead of plus. And if we just like start hitting the dummies here, so you guys can see this is the damage that we have with Shaco. You see every hit hits like for 1 billion, right? And then I mean if we overpower it, it goes way up for sure. So it depends a bit on like what you want to look at, which numbers. And with the Helm, so this one basically spends primary resources, gives you resource cost reduction, and whenever it spends resources, you gain a multiplier, and you also gain increased resource cost increase. So you combine this with the shard here on the Barb, and you guys can see here now, my bash costs 5 fury, but generates 15. So I basically have infinite fury with this helm, even at high stacks. And you can just kind of watch the damage difference here now with this build. The damage is definitely going... I didn't even press my buttons. But the damage is definitely going quite up with these kind of interactions. You guys can see here. So now the damage is about double. Like we're hitting for 2 billion. And this is like not with Shaco anymore. So it seems to go up like roughly twice in comparison to Shaco. Or 3 times maybe even. But this is kind of expected because I'm getting more resources, 40 more resources, which is a multiplier with the talisman and with my fury. And I'm getting more than double damage from the secondary, while the Shaco only gives me 4 core ranks. So I think the current crown of Lucion is basically stronger than any Uber Unique in the game. Basically giving you 2.5x damage and also giving you resource cost reduction. And just a lot of maximum resource, which is also extremely helpful with the new Talisman Amulet. So it just seems like these new uniques are definitely super hard on the strong side. But yeah, I certainly did not expect the Sorc to pull this far ahead and just to blast and be pretty busted with these. Like you see even the normal numbers, like he's hitting the boss for million, billion, trillion, like 6 trillion. The boss doesn't even lose health, yes? Like you see, this is a 200 boss. 6 trillion, the boss doesn't even... It doesn't even matter. Here, 14 trillion, the boss doesn't even lose life. That's how much HP it has. So you see 25 trillion, it just keeps bumping up. Boom, boom, and you guys can see like slowly the boss starts taking damage once the numbers reach some reach some insane flow, because they see like clearly like how it's just multiplying all over and over and over again until it basically reaches, like this would keep going. It basically reaches infinity at some point, right? So this will just keep going up until, you know, the server crashes or whatever, or until like the hardest monster in the game with 14 quadrillion health is in fact dead. We'll see. This PTR has definitely been riddled with a lot of crazy interactions and unintended mechanics. It's kind of hard to see and tell like what's real on which class, but I think Sorcerer in general, apart from this bugged interaction, still needs a lot of help. But we'll see. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. It certainly is one of the craziest damage numbers, almost hitting for billions of damage. We'll see how it's coming up. I'm hoping that we're gonna get a mid-PTR patch, because we only have 5 days of testing left, and with so many bugs being in the game, it's gonna be really hard to, you know, catch all of the crazy broken stuff for Season 5 to start here. I hope you leave some feedback, guys. I hope you log onto the PTR, and I will see you soon, my friends. Take it easy. GG. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.